Hey yo, it's your boy Caden, the Port City's finest, and you are now tuned in to the Unofficial Maritime Wrestling Podcast.
This is the Unofficial Maritime Wrestling Podcast. Feel the pain in the blast. Through the ropes, through the fight, Maritime Wrestling walls the night. The past, the present, the future. Maritime Wrestling never dies.
Welcome to another episode of the Unofficial Maritime Wrestling Podcast, episode 10. Thank you to Caden for that intro. Was at IHW last Friday, I believe it was. Joined as always by the big boss, Corey Robbie Show. What's going on?
What's going on, boys?
Nothing much. We got Jason Casey with us as well.
I'm here. How's it going?
Great. Mark the Mark. What's going on?
Oh, yeah. Gotta make
Mark
it
the
interesting. Well, it's a gloomy day, but here we are, right?
It's been a gloomy month. It's never stopped raining. Unbelievable. We're going to get started with East Coast Pro Wrestling. They had a show. Not a lot is out yet. So for people that don't know, we are recording this on Sunday this week because big interview this Tuesday. So I just started work, so thought it'd be a lot easier and doable for me to record the episode early. So East Coast Pro Wrestling, they had a friggin' sellout, 627 fans at the show. Like, that's huge.
Yeah, that was great. I think advanced sales was like 460 advanced tickets sold.
Yeah.
So amazing. Yeah.
Logan Green commented something like, pro wrestling is alive and well in the Maritimes, and it's so true, man. It hasn't boomed like this in a long time. I think we were getting there pre-COVID, and then everything happened, but this is it's fun to be here.
Absolutely. The one match that we do know, the Celtic Roots title was on the line, the Newfoundland Nightmare, Justin Newhook. He beat newcomer Rick Chenzenko. I don't know a lot about him. An easy title defense for Justin Newhook. The main event that night, I didn't see any title change posted anywhere, but Lincoln Steen took on Moondog Dylan Davis with the Mountie Jacques Rougeau as the special enforcer. So, any thoughts on ECPW?
I heard that there was an Ironside Rumble match as well was part of the event. I believe Jonathan Cross took that.
I did see that he had a little
plaque. Yeah, it was like a memorial rumble or something. I'm not sure. I didn't get all the details yet, but from what I understood, he took it. So yeah, I'll be fun to see what all the outcomes was, because I know Rudy Lockhart was taking on Ethan Knight. That's going to be a banger of a match, I'm sure. So
absolutely.
Yeah, and there was that mixed tag team match as well with Robin McAllister and JP Sims, and so yeah, it'll be fun to watch the stuff come out as they start posting.
Absolutely. Another show that was on this weekend is United Wrestling. So the results there: Sidewalk Sam, he beat the Maritime Mauler. Robbie McAllister and formerly known as Jefferson James, they went to a time limit draw. The match was restarted. Robbie McAllister gets the win. AWOL beat Deuce and Riggs. Eugene from WWE fame, he beat X-Ray Kyle Cruz. And the main event, a hardcore dog collar match. Riddick Stone beat Bad Thad Howitt. At this show, it was announced that a championship belt is coming. The Annapolis Valley Championship, the tournament will start on May 24th. Thoughts on this beautiful belt? It's inspired by the old WCW TV title. So thoughts on what looks to be a secondary title?
I mean, I think clearly the Maritime Mauler is going to be a menace in this promotion. I want to start with that. Anytime you've got that kind of a gimmick, I think it harkens back to the Grand Prix days. And I think the Maritime Mauler is now going to be a contender for the Annapolis Valley Championship, which Corey's been struggling to say all day. He's had me double check it like 4 times, and he nailed it. So I'm pretty proud of him for that one. I don't know. I think, again, another company trending in the right direction.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. And it's nice to see that they're doing shows like on a consistent basis as well. This past show was May 2nd. Next show is May 24th. So they're not, you know what I mean? There's no big gaps in their shows. They're hitting small communities, but they're still getting great crowd sizes. This past weekend, they had a crowd of like 374 people for a small community near Kentville in Kingston. So it's, you know what I mean? It's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it seemed like a really, really good crowd, eh? Like, it seemed like if there wasn't very much spots left, if there were any.
Yeah.
That's cool. What you want to see. That's what you want to see in Maritime. Jefferson James, or formerly known as Jefferson James, we saw that he was changing his character a little bit. Bit of a storyline here with Robbie McAllister, and seems to be someone to keep your eyes on for the near future.
Yeah, it's going to be cool to see what he decides to come up with. And I don't know what he's going to go with, if he's going to keep Jefferson James or going to go with his actual own name, or I'm not sure, but it'll be cool to see. Seems to be changing the whole look at me, I'm the upperclassman, to I'm a regular guy trying to make ends meet type thing. So, yeah, it'll be cool to see where he takes it.
I always love looking at a character's evolution from where they started to what their final form is going to be, like Super Saiyan something, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
AWOL, big win here for the young tag team.
Yeah, but they cheated.
Riggs. They win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat. Eugene coming in from the WWE, or he used to wrestle for the WWE against X-Ray Kyle Cruz. Kyle Cruz been in the Maritime since early 90s.
Early 90s.
The late 90s. My bad.
There it is.
My bad. He was wrestling at the same time as Ultimate Warrior and Macho Man.
85-year-old Kyle.
Look at
Thoughts on a name like Eugene coming to the Maritimes?
I think it's great. It's speaking of gimmicks, right? He had ultimate gimmick in WWE, and it's good for guys to have that kind of alumni in the locker room. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. How they grow, that's how they learn, especially the new guys like AWOL. You know what I mean? You get somebody like Eugene to watch your match, give you feedback, give you criticism, stuff you can improve on. That's what you want. It's valuable for people from the Maritimes. So yeah, I think it's awesome.
Small communities too. It seems to work really well. You see Bushwhacker Luke still coming around. Eugene comes in. You bring in the Mountie. Some of those little towns, man. Just putting that WWE logo on the poster goes a long way.
Yep.
Yeah.
I did notice Oh, sorry. I did notice actually, like in Nova Scotia, like Eastern Nova Scotia, or Western Nova Scotia, Eastern Nova Scotia, whatever side is Cape Breton.
Nova Scotia!
Whatever
Eastern
side
Nova
is Cape
Scotia,
Breton.
Cape Breton.
Eastern, my God, anyway. But yeah, you notice a lot of that, like smaller places, and they get like those big names. Like recently it was Gangrel. And you know, guys are going to take advantage of that. Let's face it, because the guy's been around, and he went over. Like, he was way over with Edge and Christian. Like I don't know if they would have been as big without him, right? So
I think they would have got there eventually. Like Edge and Christian,
longer.
Yeah, I know one thing. If you're asking me who's better, Edge or Christian, Christian. I think Christian was by far the better of the two character-wise, wrestling ability-wise. Always thought Edge's spear was the worst spear of anybody that did the spear.
Do you know who helped Christian get to the level that he got to?
Edge?
Lance
Nick
fucking
Wayne.
Storm. Lance
Nick Wayne.
The Un-Americans. You're welcome, boys.
X-Ray Kyle Cruz. You're talking about someone that helped the Maritimes in the dark days with mainstream wrestling and all that. Him still going strong 20 years later. It's pretty cool to see. We don't see him as much, but it's good to see him every once in a while.
Oh yeah, you need those vets there to help teach the young guys. You know what I mean? The next generation. So yeah, it's nice to see him grace a card every once in a while.
Yeah. Main event this night, a hardcore dog collar match, Riddick Stone and Bad Thad Howard. This has sort of been the go-to feud that's carried United Wrestling this year. So, if a world title is on the way, I think these two could be the top two contenders here.
I would definitely say so. Either one could easily carry the title. Stone's been around for a long time. He's a monster. Mm-hmm. He can easily carry a title. Bad Thad Howard, also the New Breed Wrestling Champion. So for a fact he can carry a title. And he's no slouch either in the ring. Been wrestling for about 10 years now. So he's on his way to becoming a vet in the industry as well. So, either one of them would be fantastic to wear the title.
It's funny how, Riddick Stone, the second he started wrestling, he had main eventer written all over him. Looks like $1 million.
Oh, yeah.
That's how it had to work for it. And it's proof right there that hard work pays off.
Oh, 100%.
From what was his name? Harry Thad Howard.
Yeah.
He's gotten over with everything that he's done. Human Man being one of my personal favorites. But I feel like this Bad Thad Howard gimmick, like this super heel, I think this is the one that's going to propel him to the main event.
Yeah.
And it's already happened in New Breed.
Yeah. His previous to this was the Maritime Juggernaut. I think that was kind of like the trial period or the trial gimmick for what we see now.
Yeah. Super inspired by anime, too.
That's true.
So, I think...
I remember his finisher, the Northern Lariat to a kneeled opponent. He would scream, "You're already dead." Well, that's Fist of the North Star. That's Kenshiro. So I always thought that was really cool. And I always thought that was going to be his nickname, the North Star, But that was United Wrestling. Their next show, May 24th. IHW Tag Team Mayhem. Our good old pal Corey was there. So I'm just going to go through the card real quick and we'll let Corey take over. So in Mega Pass.
Let's break it down match by match as we go.
Okay, so on the Mega Pass, Star Child versus Caden.
Star Child and Caden, someone's got to pull the curtain. The crowd was flat, but they did well. They played their role. Kind of a shorter match, which was expected. Good match. Again, these are guys that are coming up, so good for them for being here.
Caden's been wrestling for a long time.
You say that, and I don't remember seeing him at all.
He was part of the Wave Riders in XWA.
It's a blur to me. Star Child is fairly new, though.
Yeah, he's new.
Very much so.
Yeah.
So Star Child picked up the win here in a pretty good match.
It's like you said, they're all right. They'll carry it for an opener for sure.
Absolutely. I personally like Caden. I think he's...
Yeah, well, he stepped away for a while and then came back. So he's fresh on the current scene.
Yeah.
I think of the Fatal 4-Way match at IPW.
Exactly.
And as much as I love that main event of Zane Valentine and Wesley Pipes, that Fatal 4-Way match is an early contender for Match of the Year for me. Like, I've watched that match 2 or 3 times now.
Yeah,
and Caden was a part of that. That was a really good 4-Way.
Yeah, I agree.
That was the Mega Pass. I think I said VIP, but it was the Mega Pass. Next match, Madison Miles and Karma Rain versus Salem Wilder and Ronnie Payne. We were supposed to get Sierra Stone. She could not make it, so we got Karma Rain back. She hasn't wrestled in a while. Corey, thoughts on this match?
It was a really good match. I mean, it was an enjoyable match. As a fan, Salem and Ronnie came out, lots of energy. Madison came out, Boyce doing what Boyce does. She got all the heat. My favorite, and I'll go a little more into details. I'm a Boyce mark. I'll just own that. A good manager, a guy who can just cracks me up. I'm gonna be a fan, and Boyce cracks me up. So IHW has this guy who collects all the stuff on the outside, the coats and stuff. And Boyce looks at Madison and he goes, "Madison, give your coat to this homeless man." And I'm in the second row with Cheryl, and I cracked, man. I was like, "God damn it, Boyce." So yeah, Boyce gets on the mic, says that there's been a change. Yeah, I know. There's been a change in the match. Sierra Stone is not going to be there, but he's found a suitable replacement, he hopes, and he announces Karma Rain. Karma comes out, and it was a good match. I mean, Karma doesn't have the most experience. She's been wrestling for a few years. She played the role properly in this match, if that makes sense. She's a towering figure in the women's division in the Maritimes, and she doesn't need to take 82 bumps. She had them running at her, and she just shoulder blocked them. I like that. I saw the development in her character from what she was trying to do earlier on in her career versus now. I thought it was a great match. In the end, Karma's just putting the beat down on them both. Clearly about to get the pin. Boyce loses his shit, and he's like, "No, I hired you. Get out of the ring. Tag in Madison. Madison gets the pin." And that's exactly what happened. Karma walked over, tagged Madison. Madison got the pin. Karma left, not very enthusiastic, while Boyce was lapping it up with Madison as they were celebrating what looked like their Super Bowl win on the undercard. It's just they're ridiculous and they're phenomenal. And Madison's been around, went to England, came back. So happy to have her back. She's a fantastic wrestler. Take the women's out of it. She's a great wrestler. I enjoy watching Madison Miles work, period. So this was a good match. This was way better than the Mega Pass, if that makes sense. Yeah. I feel bad that some people missed this match.
Did you get some Boyce bucks?
I got a Boyce buck, yeah.
Oh, one, yeah.
Yeah, buddy, I got a Boyce buck.
Light up sneakers with that.
I got a Boyce buck, gave it to Cheryl. Cheryl has it in her wallet. Because I didn't want to fold it. And if I would have put it in my wallet, I would have had to fold it. You never forced to fold a Boyce buck. Never fold a Boyce buck.
No.
I also got a sticker, a Dave Boyce Championship Wrestling sticker that he said he had left over in his pocket, which is invaluable to me now. I would like to thank Boyce for that. All right, it's just fun, man. I like Boyce as a person, too. And it's always nice to see him on the card. But there's no better manager in the Maritimes, and there hasn't been in a long time. And it's just hard to top. Boyce is ridiculous. He'll do anything. We'll get into some more of it coming up later on. But he's absolutely ridiculous. At one point, that was in the next match. So we'll carry on.
All right. So the main show starts. Remy Petit comes out, and he says that the IHW television title is being retired and being replaced with the IHW Honor Championship, which is going to be a gimmicked belt. So, Corey, get into what this championship belt is.
It's beautiful. Let's start with that.
It's very beautiful.
He takes it out of the wrap, and they didn't have a photographer that night. I ran up to the ring, and I'm like, I don't care. The homeless man might come and get me, but I don't care. I want a good picture of this. So I got a couple good pictures of it, which you can see on our Facebook group. But beautiful belt, man. Just a brown strap, bit different. One too many flags for my taste. No, I'm just kidding. It was fun. It's tastefully done. There's not 87 and a half flags. It's beautiful. In my opinion, it's top 2 or 3 belts in the Maritimes right now. Like, it is absolutely gorgeous, especially in person. He announces that he's not going to be stripping Cole of the TV title. He's going to be giving Cole the TV title. And then
the honor title. The
honor title.
Yeah, okay.
He's going to be giving him the honor title. He announces Cole. He says, "Cole, you're a fighting champion. We're going to get you an opponent." Bobby Boyette comes out. Crowd pops, man. Crowd loves Bobby. And good for Bobby. He deserves his title shot. And he's just a solid wrestler, solid dude. And as Remy's leaving, he goes, "Oh, one more thing, Cole. The honor title is going to have a stipulation, which I fucking love. Such a good stipulation.
So the
holder of the basically championship's advantage is gone with the honor title. If you get counted out or DQ'd, you're losing the belt. So you got to pin somebody or make them submit to remain champion. What do you guys think of that stipulation?
It's amazing.
I absolutely love it because I'm the type of guy that looks at wrestling probably in a different way than other people do.
Oh, we know.
Oh, we know.
We know.
To stand out with a championship belt like that.
Yep.
You know, it's like TNA in the early 2000s doing the X division. It's not about weight limits, it's about no limits. They got on the map for that. You know, any promotion that does a light heavyweight title or a hardcore title or something, it's something that other promotions aren't doing. So this makes me think the IHW is really taking wrestling very seriously, and they don't want to just be a promotion in the Maritimes. They want to be number one, and this makes them stick out from the pack. Because it's a gimmick belt now. It's a gimmick belt and it fucking works. You know, and having Hollywood Cole as your first champion, like you have to realize that Hollywood Cole makes history twice. He becomes the very last television champion. And I love the TV title. I hate that one belt has to die so one can live, but he will go down as the very last IHW TV champion. He also becomes the first ever IHW Honor Champion. And could have lost it that night. Could have lost it to Bobby Boyette. He did not. But when you're the first at something, you know, you're in the history books forever. So me personally, absolutely love it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, it's something for them to stand out by, as you said. Red Rock has the light heavyweight title. Mm-hmm. North Pro has the downtown title.
XAW, they have the Extreme title, which is like a 24/7 title and all that. Stands out from the pack.
ECPW's got the Celtic Roots title. So, you know what I mean? Everything is a little different. The Honor title is cool because of this new stipulations it has. I think it's a step in the right direction. And also having Cole as your retaining first champion of an honor belt as a heel who normally wins his matches by cheating is fantastic.
I mean, he still cheated to win, but
exactly.
Not cheating if you don't get caught.
Hey, don't give the spoilers. Don't give the spoilers. Come on now.
But it's a great honor. It's a great title. I can't wait to see where they take it.
It's so this match goes on. Cole rolls out of the ring, and he grabs the belt and he's like, "Fuck this! I'm done. And the ref has to like lean out and go, "Hey, if you walk out to the back, you're counted out. You lose that belt." And Cole sold it exactly how he should, and got back into the ring. But as the honor champion, he pushed the ref into the corner, and Boyette came up behind him, and he kind of like back kicked Boyette in the nuts, and then very honorably pinned him for the 1, 2, 3. Then rolled out and said, "I'm Hollywood Cole, baby," and it's just a very Cole match, but it was a good one. It was very short. I mean, I'm talking 2 minutes maybe the match lasted.
Oh, wow.
But it was good. It was what it was. I wish it would have been longer because I enjoy both these guys. But that was that one. Next match on the card, Corey.
Mark, do you have something to say first?
I do. I got two things. First thing, it's very innovative of them. But also, I do want to add on. I feel like it's very good to have that around because it reminds me a little bit of Ring of Honor and what they have going on. Where like keep it clean, win in a clean fashion, keep
he didn't
type of deal.
We just went over
exactly. But here's the twist, kind of to what I'm talking about here. And I don't, if you guys remember, I was talking about how Hollywood Cole would take advantage of being mentored by Chris Jericho. But do you remember Chris Jericho as the Ring of Honor champion and how dirty he was?
No, I don't. I don't watch AEW.
He wouldn't shake anybody's hand. We all know they all do it. Like things like that, right? It was part of his character at that time. But
the greatest thing Chris Jericho ever did, he cut a promo when he won the AEW World Title, and he was pouring himself a glass of orange juice, and then turned to the camera and continued to pour all over his counter, but it was done on purpose. That's the one thing I remembered that just made me laugh so hard.
That sounds like a bubbly would do.
It wasn't the bubbly, not yet.
No.
But yeah, the Honor Championship, step in the right direction. Sad to see the IHW TV title go. IHW is, after that lull period from COVID-19, I think IHW is coming out as a serious threat to be number one in the Maritimes. So the card's not over yet. Rugged Rick Owens beat Hunter Sampson.
Good match. Very much the Rick Owens match, if that makes sense. Rick Owens has a good match, a good type of match. It pops the crowd really well. And this guy's over like crazy, man. It's kind of insane to watch Rick Owens come out in Riverview. The crowd loves him. They're singing the song. It's absolutely insane. Hunter Sampson's improving all the time. His physique, he looks like he's putting on some muscle. This was a good match. It was fun. It was a filler, right? It's just one of those matches that are in between. You're not going to get super hyped for it, but it was a good match.
I think Hunter Sampson, if you've never seen Hunter Sampson in person, he's a very tall guy too.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got the shape of a professional wrestler.
Yeah.
And he's only getting better. And a lot of people, I think, like when Tommy Lee Sampson and Hunter Sampson were the Sampson brothers, they were going to be a tag team. I think they kind of wrote off Hunter as, he's going to be the other Sampson brother. I think he became the Shawn out of this group. Now, I know Tommy Lee Sampson, he doesn't work, but he plays with
Motor League.
The Motor League.
Yeah.
So he's got other commitments as well. And I believe he got injured too.
He's injured and retired at this point from wrestling.
Oh, wow. So, to me, Hunter Sampson is one. To me, it always starts with a championship. What's going to be your first? Sometimes it can be your only. To me, I remember telling BT Bobby Mann when he won the IHWI title, treasure your title. He said, what do you mean? I'm like, you never know if a second one is guaranteed. And for BT, that was his one and only title. And when he lost it, he's like, I get what you mean now. But, I think Hunter Sampson is going to be a champion, and he's already held a title. Now that I think about it, he was a tag team champion with Scott Lee Crew. But his first singles title, I think, could happen this year.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to add as well, because at the last event in Miramichi, you can see that clearly the guy has a huge posse of fans over there. Like Absolutely. They are way with him, right? Well, obviously
he's from Miramichi, right? Yeah.
But there's people to support him, and he's a big, huge face in IHW. Like I could definitely see him getting there eventually.
In Miramichi, he's a heel in Moncton.
Yeah, imagine having him as the IHW Honor Champion in Miramichi if he brought the belt.
Oh yeah, that'd be insane.
Yeah.
Jason Boa beat Kirk Obey. A little bit of a shocker here. Obey's been been red hot lately and going through people. Jason Boa, he ends this streak here. Thoughts on this? Because Jason Boa is a plus anywhere he wrestles.
Yeah, he comes out with his choke artist gimmick. And he just a submission guy. He's fun to watch wrestle. He's got a good look. This was like two tweeners, though. Obey's over, but Obey also doesn't have... He gets some heat from some people. Boa, some people are cheering for him. I think he's working this match more as a heel. So it's kind of like mixed reactions, but then the crowd started to really get into the match. Really, and this is from here on. This is where the crowd really gets into the show, and the rest of it, the crowd was pretty hot. And I credit these two guys for that because it was kind of like Bo would put a choke on, Obey would fight his way out of it. It was just a good match, the way that they laid it out. Another one that wasn't super long though, but these two next tag matches that are coming up were kind of, I think, a part of the reason for that.
Yeah. Jason, Mark, any thoughts on Boa versus Obey?
I mean, Boa. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say it probably sets up that next May event for IHW where Boa actually gets a title shot, I believe, right? In Amherst.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He does have a title shot. That makes a lot of sense now.
Nobody's hero, yeah.
That makes a lot of sense now that he would get with the win because he's getting a title shot. So,
yep.
Mark with the 2020 vision.
Big brain time,
big
huh? Big brain, Mark the Mark.
BBE, big brain energy.
Jason, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, they're both fun guys to watch in the ring. Boa being the supreme technical wrestler, Kirk Obey's being the big bad strong guy. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just fun to watch. Jason Boa to me should be on TV somewheres, in the ring as a wrestler.
Yeah, that's the next Kirk Obey T-shirt. Big bad strong guy. So the tag team match Corey was talking about, Perfect Storm, Ryan Storm and Julian Young versus one of the coolest names I have ever heard, the Hateful Dead, the Ghost Ricky Mortis and James Manning. What a cool name that is.
Ricky Mortis, man. Ricky Mortis is a creative, smart guy. I remember first time that we saw Ricky Mortis was last year in Spring Hill for
the Dave
Corey
Boyce show, yeah.
And he came out with some wicked entrance music. Ricky Mortis, Rigor Mortis, just a very play on words, clearly an intelligent guy. Yeah. I'm high on Ricky Mortis, man. I really like this kid. I think he's gonna have a really good, like, I really kind of picture him being that. He's gonna end up being the Thad Howitt, you know, like he's gonna work for it. He's gonna have to earn his way to get those title shots, but he's gonna get them because the crowd's gonna like him or hate him. In this case, so Perfect Storm comes out, Julian and Ryan, same old, you know, all the energy in the world. Julian grabs a mic, talks because Julian talks, and they call out, you know, whoever their challenger is. They make fun of Shano a little bit, all the good stuff, all the hits, all the classic hits, and then Ricky Mortis and James Manning come out. It was a good match. Ricky Mortis and James Manning were doing some like the old school tag team stuff, working the ring properly, cutting it off. It was just a good match. Like, frankly, a really good match. And if this is Ricky Mortis starting to step into the tag team world more and more, I don't disagree with that choice. This kid's good, man. I don't know. And then on the other side, you've got just two vets who are clearly having, like, Ryan Storm's having the time of his life in this tag team. It's goofy. It's fun. They pick up the win. Afterwards, they get on the mic saying that they're going to be back next month and that tag team wrestling's on the rise in IHW. I think maybe kind of hinting towards a possible tag team belt someday. There was 3 tag matches on this card, and again, it was tag team mayhem, but still, really, really good match. And in this one, Young gets the mic, Storm snatches it from him and says, "You talk too much. I'm going to talk now." Ryan Storm, man, it's just funny, goofy, and enjoyable. So this was exactly what we needed leading into the intermission. You know, kept the crowd really high, and I think we all knew what was coming up. There's only 2 matches left on the card, man. They were both super hyped.
Yeah, and hindsight as well. We did speak about this back when they first wrestled as not first wrestled as a tag team, but like at that first episode of or show of the season. Sorry, I should say.
Words are hard
for IHW. I know
words
tonight
are
they are.
Hard,
man. I'm
bro.
struggling.
For somebody that knew about the Amherst show, My brain shut itself off real quick.
Look at that. That's all I know. That's all I had in my head for tonight. But yeah, just kind of hindsight here. We were talking about how most likely that Storm and Young are probably going to get that push to be the first champions, the tag team champions in IHW. I could see that happen.
I would almost bet on it. I mean, they are the vets. You know what I mean?
So, I mean, even if it's just short term, you put the belts on them. Yeah. It adds it. You've already added prestige to the titles. Having two former IHW heavyweight champions be your first tag champions.
Yeah, and then they pass on the torch, like
exactly.
And original for one as well.
Yeah, both were pretty much original. Like Ryan Storm
came in a few months in.
Yeah, but Ryan Storm is the third guy to hold the IHW heavyweight title.
Yeah,
so he's one of the top three from the early days. We've mentioned Ryan Storm. We've mentioned Julian Young. Everybody knows we love Ricky Mortis. I want to put over James Manning here for a second.
Yeah,
this guy, if any promotion would create a hardcore title, tailor-made for it. He's got a look. I know Mark calls him the John Moxley of the Maritimes. He's got a cool look.
Yeah,
he's got a really cool look.
It's a little creepy look, a little weird look. I agree. It's a little intimidating.
I really like it, and I saw the picture of Mortis and Manning, and he just reminds me of this old school. Like he's got the taped fist, and he's got hate written on the knuckles. This guy reminds me a little bit of Bloody Bill Scullion, who wrestled in Real Action Wrestling, and they had a hardcore title. I think he would thrive in a division like that.
He reminds me of somebody that you would have seen regularly on ECW.
Exactly.
No, that's right. That's right.
So I've only seen him once at the Miramichi IHW show. I like what I see. I know he's still relatively new, but I'm telling you, any promotion that wants to think outside the box and have like street fight championship or something like that, and have James Manning as your guy, I think that would work really, really well. So, intermission, like Corey said, and we come.
I also did want to say something about James Manning. I thought it was really, really funny. It's just a quick story, but when we were at that show, the Over the Top Rumble show in Miramichi, him and Mortis were sitting next to each other at the intermission.
That's right.
And they were kind of going, selling merch or whatever. And some kids showed up at James Manning's spot, and they go, "You're bald." He's like, he looks at Ricky Mortis. He's like, "Oh, I'm bald." And Ricky Mortis reacts, and he's like, "Ah, you're bald." Everybody just got into the story at the same time, and the kids just loved it. They laughed.
Manning's quite the character too, though, because Demonic was standing at ringside during intermission at that Miramichi show, and Manning turns the corner, goes face to face with Demonic, and sells it like, "Ooh, what the hell is that?" Then he keeps his eye on Demonic and just slowly goes around him, keeping his eyes on him. Like, I don't trust whatever that thing is. So just, I don't know, attention to detail. I'm really enjoying what James Manning is doing right now. Like I said, man, I think he'd be tailor-made for like a street fight division or something like that in any promotions in the Maritimes. Come back from intermission, and the big bad LG takes on Fantana. Corey, take it away.
So during the intermission, Fantana was over at the merch table signing 1,000 autographs and taking pictures with every kid in the land, because Fantana is loved and adored by everybody. Like, it's just, I mean, credit to him, man. He's great at it. He's great with the kids. He's great with the fans, and they love him. So about 2 minutes left in the intermission, I start hearing booing and kids running and just weird shit happening. And LG's coming out from behind the curtain behind me with the homeless man, the security guy. And thanks, Dave. And there's just a ton of kids running at him. And he's yelling at people to watch their children and just different stuff. I also enjoyed the interaction that Dave Boyce had with the kid who was sitting in front of me when Dave Boyce was... I actually saw 2 good Dave Boyce interactions. I enjoy good fan interactions during the intermission. So Dave's on the side. This kid walks up to him and goes, "Can I take a selfie with you?" Dave looks at him and he goes, "All right." So the kid takes a picture and he goes, "Now get the hell away from me. I hate kids." And the kid runs away. And then I walk over and whatever, boys is just being boys. It's just fun, man. But then he's walking back and the kid in front of me is pretty into the show and he flips Dave the double middle fingers. And Dave's like, "Where's your mother?" And he goes, "That's my grandmother." And he points next to him and he goes, "Teach your kids some manners." And just walks by. Loved it. Just Dave being Dave, man. They're fun. It's a good time. But then LG comes out. All the kids are going at him. He stays up for a couple minutes and he disappears again behind the curtain. Intermission ends. Fantana comes out to the biggest pop of the night, probably. And LG comes out probably in the most heat of the night. So it is what it is. This match wasn't too long. And I think there was maybe 4 wrestling moves. So ding, 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 the bell goes. LG rolls out and goes, "I'll start this match on my own time, baby." Walks around, does all the LG stuff. Rolls in, rolls back out, keeps walking. Rolls in. Fantana goes near him. He goes to the corner. Fantana goes near him again, goes to the other corner. Match starts, couple little moves, and then he manages to get Fantana and he rips the mask off of Fantana. And within about a second, the ref, it was so well done. The ref dives on Fantana, rips his shirt off, gives Fantana the shirt. Fantana's now sitting in the middle of the ring with the ref shirt inside out on his head. And LG's holding the mask like he's got the biggest title in the world. He's holding this mask and staring at this mask the way most people stare at their firstborn child. I mean, LG just has... Everything this fucking guy does is good, man. He just does it well. So,
did LG get the win?
I don't think there was officially any win or loss.
Okay.
The ref called it. They didn't announce anything. I think they probably DQ'd LG, I suppose. I'm not sure, man. What do you DQ him with? Taking a mask? Like, what do you call this? It progressed the story, though. So, he's sitting in the ring. Fantana's sitting in the ring with the ref's shirt on. Stupid LG's staring at this mask. Remy Petit walks out and goes, just starts scalding LG. And LG's, whatever, kind of reacting like a child. It's kind of how he does
dick, like usual.
Yeah, typical stuff. So good, though. So fucking funny. Cheryl's first time seeing LG.
Oh, my God.
Cheryl's first time seeing LG next
What a treat.
Losing it. She's laughing so hard. And, Cheryl hadn't been to an IHW show in about a year and a half, 2 years. So she hadn't seen a lot of these gimmicks that have progressed and these guys that have progressed in general. And IHW as a whole, has been it's been on fire. So Remy goes, you want to take a mask, you want to take his mask, and at the next show we're gonna have a mask on a pole match. If LG wins, Fantana gets demasked. And LG's strutting like, yes, this is, yes. And he goes, nobody wants to see his face, baby, nobody. And then he goes, but if LG wins, or if Fantana wins, LG has to wear a mask for the rest of the season. LG reacted like somebody just shot his mother. He dropped to his knees. He's slapping the ground. He was just losing it. In the middle of him losing it, Remy grabs the mask out of his hand, throws it to Fantana. LG leaves furious. So,
my bad.
Riverview Sunfest. Mask on a pole match. Fantana's mask versus, I suppose, us all having the pleasure of getting to see LG's beautiful face. Great gimmick. The way that they built this up, don't forget that this is a rivalry that's gotten to here because Fantana injured LG. That's where the knee injury came from.
Well, I think the original, I don't know why. I think that was originally going to be the storyline when LG got injured. I don't remember if they had announced it, but I believe they had announced that there would be a match between Fantana and LG, and if LG lost, he had to wear a mask. So I think they're just finishing the storyline they started over a year ago.
Potentially. I've never heard anything, but
I've never heard
I
it either,
like
but
where it's going.
love it.
And you know what? Maybe LG, if you have to wear a mask, you could get your face circumcised.
Oh, shots fired.
I love it.
Yeah. This was good, though. This is some story stuff that the Maritimes needs. And
hell yeah.
IHW is on fire right now, man. It's just such a great promotion to watch. So fun live.
It's one of those things for me that I'm a storylines guy. Like, it's one thing to have two wrestlers. No, not me. It's one thing to have two wrestlers have a great wrestling match with no build or anything. To me, give me a storyline. Give me a storyline like you said. Corey said it was what, 2 minutes?
No. It was probably about 5 or 6 minutes, but there's only like 4 wrestling moves.
That's perfect.
Why should you? Why? I don't think there was barely a bump taken, and it was probably the best reactions all night from the crowd. Like, why? Again, LG, man, they know what they're doing. And if I'm a wrestler, I'd want to be in a storyline with LG. You don't even have to work that hard. You know you're going to get over.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, what I like about what HW is doing is the show has variety. You got the matches that are there as wrestlers. You got the Rick Owens, the Hunter Sampsons that are putting in the reps and giving you the real, like, actual wrestling. You've got, you know what I mean, the champions. You got Chris Charters and Cole doing their thing, but then you need guys like LG and Fantana to tell those less bump storylines. You know what I mean? Like, there needs to be a variety for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there is. There absolutely is. From what I've seen up to now, just beginning with IHW, right? I'd never really been into it yet. So just starting, like, absolutely, there's something there for me, that's for sure. Because I enjoyed it very, very much.
Yeah.
So the main event, JP Sims and Kobe Christ beat Chris Charters and Chip Chambers. Corey, the betrayal of the century.
It was fuck, man. I'll get to that. Kobe comes out, typical Kobe, right? Same old back. Not even though he was coming out as heel Kobe. So people were putting their hands up, and he did the Kobe fast walk around the outside, roll in. No selling to the fans. So he gets in. He's the heel. Expect what you get what you pay for with JP. He comes out with Boyce, who now has different colored lights on his shoes, though.
Probably has a different suit as well, I would imagine.
The same suit. No, you don't ruin perfection like that. And Temu, it's hard to get stuff in because they've got the tariffs. If you get anything from the States, it's more expensive. There's some issues. Luckily, we're getting around that in Canada for now, but I am concerned for Dave Boyce. And his
they had a warehouse
collection.
burned down, eh?
It's terrible. It's a terrible thing, and I worry for Dave. But he comes out, different shoes. JP is mega heel. I mean, JP Sims' own mother would hate him in Riverview Shoes there. Like, it's unbelievable the heat this dude gets. It's fucking wild. Burger King, Triple Whopper, Double Whopper, Angry Whopper, all the chants.
Angry Whopper, yeah.
So then the opposite of that, Charters, man, huge pop. Chip Chambers, huge pop. Match starts up. It's a good match. Back and forth. Good tag team wrestling from both teams. Cool. I got to give credit to all the guys who were in these tag matches tonight and girls because they worked half the ring. They did the things that you do to make good tag team wrestling, and I love good tag team wrestling. Probably the best tag team match was that Perfect Storm versus Hateful Dead match, but this one was great too. Good tag team wrestling, good wrestling in general. Some of my favorite spots were, I think we had Chip Chambers on his back, clearly knocked out. Dave Boyce jumps in, pins him. Ref doesn't count. Ref's like, you're not a part of this match. And Boyce just lost it, threw his tantrum on the outside. Told a woman not to stare at his briefcase. Thought that was a pretty good line. Just the random shit, right? It makes it a little bit more. Just a little extra for that match. But it was good, man. All 4 guys got some of their stuff in. There was some really good. Kobe's just such a good wrestler. Holy shit. Yeah. And then you put Kobe in there with Chip. My God, these are two of the best wrestlers in the Maritimes. So there was some fast action, some really good stuff. Everybody got some of their moves in. And then out of nowhere, it felt like a weird dream. Chip Chambers turns on Chris Charters. The crowd, again, man, just shock. IHW does these turns and they do them well. I wasn't expecting it. Chip's one of the biggest faces in the Maritimes in most companies that he's in, and historically he always has, but he has that look. So he turns on Charters. They got me. That's for damn sure. They got me. Chip walks away, goes down the aisle. Covey and JP beat up on Charters, finish them up with a 1-2-3. They get the win. Good match, but man, advancement of story again, right? Advancement of story.
Yeah, for that main event, you have to advance the storyline like that, though.
Yeah.
Chip being the one turning on Charters, it's surprising, but at the same time, there's a story there from way back when. You know, they feuded over the TV title. Like, this was the biggest feud for the TV title. You know, you have to imagine that Charters is going to beat JP Sims at Sunfest. Either that or that match is turned into a fatal four-way match. Because I think this is your top four in IHW right now. Those are your four. Sure.
My prediction would be that you build towards Chip and Charters at
final show of the year
20.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's a big show. You've got to have big matches at that show. This one would make sense. So I think you see Charters versus somebody else, and I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe Chip interfere. Chip plays a role here and there, but I don't think Chip gets that title shot right away. I think we see it in September. I hope we see it in September.
Makes sense.
That's what I want to see.
You want to know what I think about it?
It doesn't matter what you think.
It absolutely does, Corey.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
I think it's a rebirth of the firm under Dave Boyce, and it ain't going to be Chip Chambers against Chris Charters. I think it's going to end up being like there's going to be a storyline between JP Sims and Chip Chambers eventually.
Chip didn't join the firm here. He walked down the aisle. He didn't even turn and look at Boyce.
No, but he's going to hire him. Boyce Bucks, man. Boyce Bucks. Boyce Bucks make the world turn. Jeez.
The markiest of all the marks.
It was overall though, fantastic card. None of it let me down, which nothing worse than going to a wrestling show and leaving feeling let down. Yeah. These guys really, everybody top to bottom. It was a great match. Cheryl hadn't been to an IHW show in a couple of years. The last one she was at would have been July 2 years ago. So a lot of progression, a lot of advancement. She's like, wow, IHW is back. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Like Cheryl's been somebody who's been coming to wrestling shows with me since 07, 08, right? So she's been to a lot of wrestling shows. So yeah, it was fun. I'm sure that, and I think the biggest compliment for IHW is I already have tickets for Amherst and Miramichi. Awesome. Like I'm in. I bought in. I'm enjoying the product. Even those smaller shows like Miramichi, definitely worth getting to. So props to them. A lot of wrestling coming up for us though, baby. I can't wait.
Yeah. Speaking of upcoming wrestling, May 9th, so this Friday, I do believe, North Pro anchored Vision at the Holy Whale, which according to Cheryl, if you listen to the BSHL podcast yesterday, Corey, go ahead.
Oh my God, I've got to share with these two dipshits. They're going to love it. So, the BSHL podcast was out yesterday. I told the story there. So, Jason, you'll have heard the story there. Although, wait, we're recording this on Sunday. Fuck it. So, my mom comes over and she goes, oh, Cheryl had fun at the wrestling show last night. And I was like, yeah, it was a good show. And she goes, she's going to a show on Friday. She said it's at a church. And I said, it's at a church? She goes, yeah, she said it's at a church. And I'm like, I'm sitting there and I'm more confused than Mark on a Saturday morning. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, what's going on?
I can add to that afterwards as to why she said that, I believe.
Yeah, it's because it's the Holy Whale. So thought it was a church.
There's a reason behind that.
All right, go ahead, Mark the Mark.
So the reason behind that is because the Holy Whale has a brewery in, not in Salisbury, the other way, Hillsborough, sorry, and it's in a church.
Yeah, I would love to tell you that that's why, but I don't think that's why. I really think she heard the Holy Whale, and she was like, I will. You'll see her on Friday. You can ask her, Mark.
So don't tell her, but ask her why she thought that.
You ask her on Friday, Mark.
Just in case. We'll ask her.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So we had a laugh, though, and it is definitely not in a church. It's definitely in a...
I can't wait to see her on Friday now.
I bet you can.
I'm going to go up to her and go...
du fils et du Saint-Esprit. Amen.
On May 9th, 2 VIP matches. First, Joey White versus the Ghost Ricky Mortis. In a fatal 4-way match, Ethan Knight versus Chip Chambers versus Johnny DeLuca versus Dawson James. And DeLuca is from the Ontario promotion, correct?
Pro Wrestling Ontario. And this fatal 4 match is actually in Pro Wrestling Ontario Openweight Championship match on the VIP.
That's correct. So, Scorched Earth versus AWOL. And I saw, Jason, in your notes, Olafur Hansen is injured.
He has a shoulder injury. Word is on the scene that Oni has found an iconic replacement. Not sure who it's going to be, but the tag team match is still ongoing.
If it's PCO, we riot.
I'm hoping it's Gabe Kovic from Quebec.
Let me tell you, I can confirm right now it is not PCO.
All right, good. Thank you.
Chantel versus the Misfit Crystal Moon in a 3-way match. Jax Williams versus Indestructible Evan Greenway versus Hollywood Cole. Was that for a title as well? I know there's like 1,000 title matches on this card.
Don't believe that one's for a title, no.
Don't believe so. No,
I'm so mad that I'm missing this card. I'm just
so
depressed.
Jax Williams and Evan Greenaway are both from Pro Wrestling Ontario as well. So is Crystal Moon that's taking on Chantal.
Yeah. A fatal 4-way match for the North Pro Downtown Championship. Jason Boa versus Kobe Christ, the champion, versus Giant Orion versus Parkside, who's also from Pro Wrestling Ontario. The main event for the North Pro Heavyweight Championship of the World, Moondog Dylan Davis versus the Kid Rudy Lockhart. I know Jason said he smells a title change?
Possibly.
I would not be opposed of it. I think to be the promotion that gives Rudy Lockhart his first world title, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
It's definitely going to happen.
Rudy's too fucking good not to,
Yeah.
I'd be happy for him. Absolutely.
Everybody'd be happy for him.
Yeah.
We're in a church. I'd drop down and pray.
Hallelujah. The following night on May 10th, Logan Mania 3 is going to be North Pro promoted. VIP, a fatal 4-way match, Evan Greenway versus Jason Boa versus Joey White versus the Ghost, Ricky Mortis. Also on VIP, Sabotage versus AWOL, so the rivalry renewed. Ronnie Payne will be versus the Misfit Crystal Moon. And we have 2 scramble matches, so 5-way scramble matches. The winners of both scramble matches will meet in the main event for the Logan Mania Trophy, I believe it is.
Correct.
So the first scramble, we'll see Chip Chambers versus Rudy Lockhart versus Jack Williams versus Ethan Knight versus Parkside. And the second one, we'll see Dawson James versus Johnny DeLuca versus Hollywood Cole versus Moondog Dylan Davis versus Kobe Christ. So if you're in the area for that, any thoughts on these shows?
There's also there's still another match as well, the Ultimate Logan Mania Championship Fatal 4-Way match. Isaiah Bronson versus Maniacal Moretus versus Robbie McAllister versus Justin Newhook.
I did not see that one, so my bad there. So Logan Mania, Jason, could you explain to us what this is?
So Logan Mania is an organization. It's called the Logan Mania Logan's Legacy League. It's a registered nonprofit founded by the McNeary family in memory of their son Logan McNeary that passed away at the age of 14. they've created this organization to honor Logan's legacy. He was a massive wrestling fan. So all the money they raise through fundraisers throughout the year, plus this event, all goes towards investing in community programs in the Bridgewater-Lunenburg area, mental health initiatives for schools, opportunities to help young people in the area. So the boys from North Pro are heavily involved, and this is the third year they've been at it, and I hope to see it go on for Logan Mania 20, I hope, and more.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So if you're in the area for these shows, I believe those are the only 2 shows this weekend.
Nope.
If not,
there's another.
Is there? What do you got, Corey?
NBWA in Doketown.
That's correct.
Saturday night.
Doketown.
That's right. Doketown.
That's
I forgot about that.
Doketown show.
How can one forget Doketown? Come on now.
Man.
Go Jacks. I don't know.
Who's Jack?
So I don't think any matches were announced for that. I didn't see any.
There's not really anything announced. Good looking card though. Like I know Logan's on the card and a lot of names. So I had a couple hockey people reach out to me asking about it, and I was like, man, it's worth spending your money just to go see Logan Green. The rest of the card's a bonus, but Logan Green will make it worth your $20 or whatever it is to get in there.
Looking at the poster right now, your normal CCW and AWA guys: Hunter, Butterlove, Fantana, LG, Rick, Larry Horowitz, Crude Oil, Spike, Salem. So
yeah,
they'll definitely put on a good show for sure.
It's gonna be a fun one, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Keep a note here. LG and Spike SD are now 1 for 1. Who knows? Could be a trilogy.
Oh, there you go.
This could be,
Will Spike
stipulation.
Essy's mom be at the show?
Exactly.
Oh,
Will she be going
maybe.
out for dinner with LG? Man.
Yeah. We were at the Doketown show last year. We went up for the trip, and it's done inside of an arena, like a hockey arena.
Yep.
we know the arena.
Yeah, it's a really good show. Drew a good crowd last year. I'd probably say 550 people last year.
Wow.
So it was a good turnout. Local fire department sets out a big barbecue in front of the building as well. So like they got like Kurt sausages and stuff, and yeah, so it was a pretty cool show. So I hope to see big things for this year as well. So
When we used to go to these Doketown shows for hockey, we had the best cheeseburgers ever. Fried onions.
Great cheeseburgers, great fried onions. Fun story about these shows. The guy who runs that arena actually messaged me last summer and said, I'd really like to bring some wrestling to Doketown. Who should I contact for that? And me being me, went, Doketown, that sounds like CCW territory. So I put him in contact with CCW because my initial thought was, oh man, it would be great if there's a North Pro show in Doketown because I'm a North Pro mark. But the person with the brain connected that, and I'm glad I did, man. I'm glad that's working out for CCW or MBWA. I'm glad it's working out for Doketown. And honestly, CCW is picking up, man. They're going to become one of the top promotions in the Maritimes in the next 6 months to a year, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think they're pretty close to be there yet.
What'd you call me, Mark?
Or Corey the Brain Robichaud Show. Nothing bad.
You know what? If you want to say something to me after Bobby Heenan, I will take that all day. Twice on Sunday.
So with that being said,
say it again, Mark. It's Sunday.
Sunday.
With that being said, it is time. It is time.
It's
town, folks. It is town.
It is time for Mark's Side of the Ring, episode 2.
Oh boy!
So Mark,
here we go. Do I get an intro for this? Like this is the second time I do it now.
Here's your.
Oh yeah! There we go. Intro.
He is
done.
Mark the Mark. He's not very beautiful, but he is Mark the Mark.
I'm just appreciating the moment right now. Anyway, I better get into it before you guys start leaving.
Mark, what match did you review? Did you watch this time?
So tonight's match is from September 2001. This is they call it Raw. They call it Real Action Wrestling. The Natural, Bobby Roode, versus Wild Man, Gary Williams.
I don't know your day job.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Bobby came into Static X. Actually, I was about to say, because last time I mentioned how Titus came in on the last Mark side of the ring, how he came into Slayer. But yeah, Bobby came into Static X.
Which Static X song?
I don't remember the name of it, man.
It wasn't Only, right?
No, it wasn't Only. It was that's a good question, to be honest with you. And
let's carry on.
You know, you can answer it next week. You can find
somebody will figure it out anyway. But yeah, man, that match was wild. It was literally it was wild. Pun intended, no pun intended. It was very wild, and like it started right immediately. Honestly, like Gary Williams didn't even like get to the ring, and the match started. Basically, like Bobby just jumped at him, started punching him in the face, and like immediately chop off. Like they were insane. Like you could hear those echo like through the camera, and like this is a new
clearance here. This is the famous ladder match from Real Action Wrestling, September 2001. This is days after the September 11th tragedy. Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah.
So this is probably the first show in the Maritimes post 9/11. So
I believe so.
And this is also the match that, if you listen to the New Scott interview that aired last week, this is New Scott's favorite match from the Maritimes.
I completely support that. I had never seen it. And I support his views on that match. Yeah. Absolutely, 100%. But yeah, man, they went right at it. And like the crowd was like, I like how into it the crowd was. Because like at this venue, it was like a bowl-like setup where like I would have loved to be there. Because like there's no way you could not have seen the action. But the crowd was moving with the match. Like it was
how
crazy.
How old would you have been in 2001?
Myself, I would have been 8 years old.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's old.
You know, what's wrong with that? Jesus.
Nothing. I was 8 at one point too.
I know.
Many
me too,
years
but it
ago.
wasn't definitely in 2001.
I know. No, I'm just kidding, guys. Honestly,
you weren't 8.
You know, as kids, like that's when you hit your wrestling prime for some reason. Yep. I was really, really into it. Like the SummerSlams and all that. We used to watch that on videotapes. So, but yeah, kind of back to the match. Or sorry, like the crowd was going to see Gary Williams come out, like do his entrance, and all of a sudden he jumps off the ring and starts beating on him. So everybody had to like back off. They were like, "Oh shit! Like we better not get into that." But anyway. Yeah, just like I mentioned, insane chop off within the first minute. Like it was insane. Slammed Bobby Roode against the wall. The match was all over the place within the next minute. This is 2 minutes in. They're already going through halls, throwing trash cans, like everything's going. And basically, like, you know, this is what you would expect out of like a hardcore title match. You know, like maybe ECW, like that's what you'd expect out of an ECW opening, basically.
It's a great comparison, actually, because ECW at the time was like, I try to tell people about Real Action Wrestling and say, put yourself in the middle of the Monday Night Wars or the Attitude Era or the ECW Revolution. It's smack dab in the middle of that.
Yeah.
Or right after that, I guess you could say, because it's starting to wane down, but that's what's popular at the time.
Exactly. And you feel that through that match, like very much so. It, you know, on that subject as well, like once they get back to the ring, this is like 3 minutes in. Like this is still very, very early in that match. Like already, you know, Gary Williams is bringing out the ladder. Like this is a ladder match and he's already bringing out the ladder to take the title. He's going for it. And Bobby Roode gets back to his bearings and, baseball slide right into Gary. Like already, like, this is insane. And it kind of reminds me of that Titus and Julian Young match. Because they did that, I believe they did that exact same spot in that match around the same time.
I did not plan it like this. I just realized now that the first two Mark side of the rings are ladder matches.
They are. They both are. They are. But they're good matches, man. I
really good.
Love a good ladder match.
The participants.
Well, yeah, exactly. But, they're doing it for us because they love us and they want to perform well.
Corey's really choking to death right there. Corey's dying there. They love us. They love us. Corey turns red.
They love us. They'll do it.
Choking on sunflower seeds.
But
he'll make it.
Like, just on a side note, like, you could tell that this match was going to be absolutely promising from the first 4 minutes in. Like, this was going to be it was already an absolute banger. Like, it was insane.
Yeah.
Like, you could still see that when they went through the halls, you saw that the crowd was following them.
Yeah.
Like, that was it was crazy. I love the atmosphere and I love how that was happening then. But yeah, already like 5 minutes in, you could see like Bobby Roode was already slingshot into a second ladder in the ring. Like, he had brought in another ladder. So, like, again, this is 5 minutes in. You can imagine how much of a banger this match was. And probably like within 8 or 9 minutes in, you were seeing color. Because Bobby Roode at the time had blonde hair.
Yeah.
He had his blonde hair, and you already saw color in his forehead. Like, he was already cut open from this match. Like, this is insane. So thankfully for his blonde hair, we got a good color there. But
juice.
Oh yeah. But like, especially like the spots in this match were insane. Like, there was a couple of them of note that I had looked at and that were really, really well executed. But it was Wildman did a sit down power bomb on Bobby Roode so he was going up for the title, and Gary got him into a sit down power bomb, and it was very, very well executed. Like, that was, oh yeah, love those. But yeah, like, even there's a couple other spots there where they were both on ladders. Got him by the neck, bam, down the ladder. Just, I love those. I love those types of matches, like hardcore matches, ladder matches, stuff like that. But yeah, basically, like, to kind of sum it up, like, these guys were amazing. I know we had this conversation in the past where, like, Gary Williams could have probably been in the big time. No problem.
100%.
He would have fit right
100%.
in like a puzzle piece. Like,
$1 million look too. He had
Yeah.
that look.
Yeah.
He looked
Yeah.
like $1 million. He was bred to be a main event guy.
Do you want to know who I thought of when I saw him immediately?
Who?
It might not be comparable in the personality of the character, but the Raven's flock.
Yes, he did have that look.
Yeah.
The
Riggs
denim shorts.
and, Raven,
Sick
Billy
Boy.
Kidman, Sick Boy.
Sick Boy.
Yeah, that was Riggs. Yeah, that was Riggs.
No, that was not Riggs. That was Sick
no?
Boy. There was Scotty
Sick
Riggs.
Boy?
There was Billy Kidman. There was Sick Boy. The original idea of Raven's flock was Raven being the main guy.
Yeah.
And Sick Boy was going to be the other guy. And I don't remember. He had another guy. I think it was going to be Stevie Richards or something like that. But the breakout star was going to be Sick Boy. Richards was originally going to be there. Stevie Richards was in WCW, like a blink and you'll miss it. And he was replaced with Lodi.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was Lodi that they called him, right?
Lodi.
Lodi, is it? I don't know.
Lodi.
Somebody said Lodi. I was like, what the heck? I've never ever said that.
Probably you. It's probably you that said it.
I don't know, man. That's a blast from the past.
It was Lodi. Yeah, Lodi would later on be in TNA as part of the Rainbow Express with the guy that was Kwee. And then after that, he changed it into Alan Funk. Lodi and Kwee. I always called him Kiwi because it sounded like
Sure.
Like a Kiwi.
Yeah.
But later on, the Alan Funk.
Much better. Here, look at that. But like you could see in the mannerisms, even in Bobby Roode, of who he would become. Like you could see how he handled himself in the ring and psychologically. Because like I don't think any of these guys, like there was no face, there was no heel. Like they were just out for they wanted to win.
The Wildman Gary Williams was technically the babyface in 2001, especially. This is like peak Cardinal Sinners. Like they are at their tip top of popularity at this point.
Yeah,
and people forget that what Bobby Roode did before going to TNA in 2003, 2004 was the Maritimes. He spent a lot of time here from 99 to 2003, I believe. For Grand Prix Wrestling, for Real Action Wrestling, for Atlantic Coast Wrestling. I don't think he did mainstream wrestling, but I could be wrong. But it's nuts to me to think of the guy that just retired a few years ago, ended his career in WWE, was a mainstay in TNA, multiple-time world champion and world tag team champion.
And now he's a producer on
in the Maritimes. Exactly.
Yeah. And actually, just for fun, like I was taking a look at I was looking at Bobby Roode. Like New Scott has a lot of
unbelievable,
a lot of stuff on this guy, and you can look up. Yeah, you can look up like Bobby Roode, and like you'll see a lot of his stuff on there. And it's a lot of matches against like guys like Gary Williams and Brody Steele. You know, I believe there is. Right, Maritime Cup 3. So, you know, you see a lot of that, right? So, but yeah, like at the end of this match, Gary Williams does take it. He gets up on the ladder and takes the title. But here's kind of the twist. And I had a conversation. Yeah, I guess. But we had a conversation about this actually, where we saw Cowboy Mike Hughes come out and beat up on Gary Williams. So they would have been clashing at that time, most likely through Real Action Wrestling, right? Yeah. And you know, you can obviously see that this leads to something else, because this involves not only Cowboy Mike Hughes, but a little bit later on after that match, formerly known as, or not formerly known as, but known as Brody Steele in the future, a little bit, not too far, I'd say, probably not another too far, 4 years, he would be known as Brody Steele, but was known as the Kingsman, correct?
So Kingman, right. Had
come out as well, along with. Sorry, what's funny? What did I'm
gonna start calling Brody Steele the Kingsman.
The Kingsman. Well, I mean, that's, I don't know, holds a little bit of a.
I tell Mark before the show starts, like, his name is Kingman. All right, Kingman, get it right. He's like the Kingsman.
The Kingsman. I don't know. I'm just thinking of the movie.
That's the next. But anyway, Mark the Kingsman.
Sure. I'd be willing to take that.
What cracked me there was when Corey goes, "No, it's Kingman." Mark goes, "Sure."
I didn't decide it. I never decided.
Sure, you know, why not? Kingman.
Whatever. It works. But yeah, along with No Class Bobby Bass. So there's a little bit of Cardinal Sinners going on there.
So in 2001, I believe it was on Eastlink Television. Real Action Wrestling was on their channel, and the main event act in Real Action was the 4 members of the Cardinal Sinners, which were Bobby Roode, Cowboy Mike Hughes, Kingman, not the Kingsman, and formerly known as Kurgan at this point in time, they were just calling him the Giant or the Acadian Giant, and the manager was No Class Bobby Bass. And the big storyline here is Buddy Lane, who had been a wrestler in Grand Prix, was basically the authority figure, the general manager. And Kurgan basically choke slammed him through a table and suspended him. You can find this full episode it's in parts, but the entire episode is there on New Scott's channel. Just put Real Action Wrestling TV show 2001, and you'll find, I believe, only 2 episodes have survived. One from 2001 and one from 2002. But yeah, the Cardinal Sinners was the faction of the Maritimes, and you know, it's something that I wish would come back in the Maritimes, because you know, I've started this new series on the Maritime Warrior called Unknown Factions, and just sometimes with a faction, it can become your starting point to something really big.
Yeah,
and with the Cardinal Sinners, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. And you can see a lot of that, like especially in factions where, you know, you have them dominating for so long, and then one guy becomes like the oh, I'm too big for you guys, but then they split up and they end up feuding for years sometimes, right? Before like the blow off really happens, and
it becomes sometimes what you're remembered for, because you know, I believe Cowboy Mike Hughes is still using the Cardinal Sinners theme song. He's retired now, but he used that theme song until he retired. You know, and one thing, shame on Mark for forgetting to mention this, is the poor championship belt ripping in 2 pieces.
Yeah, well, I was going to mention that. That was my last note about that match. Like, where, well, it was weird because it wasn't coming out, so I think he ripped it on purpose. To be honest, because like he pulled on it some hard.
I know, like I've seen that belt in person. So they used that championship belt in Grand Prix in '99, and Kurgan actually won the title against Joey Legend. That was my first ever wrestling show live.
Cool.
And I've seen that belt in person. I've actually touched the belt, like it was around Kurgan's waist, and I just go and touch the side plates of it. So
touched it, Kurgan.
I touched it.
Might have to choke slam him.
But one of the things is I've seen Gary Williams do shoe-in interviews before, and he said it was just a replica belt because they were too cheap to get a real belt. But if you've ever seen a replica belt, even if it's like damaged or whatever, that's still some thick. Like for him to rip that as easy as he did, with like a little bit of dust flying off and all that, man, you have to be some strong to rip that thing apart.
Oh, dude,
yeah, there was probably. Well, oh, yeah, absolutely. But there was probably like a flaw at that point as well. There might have been a small tear that already formed.
Yeah.
But most likely. Because he was, it was stuck in there. I don't think it was coming out without it. But yeah, like it was an odd ending, like, you know, not being knowledgeable about those guys at the time and what feuds were going on. Like I noticed that like Cowboy took the belt, held the belt once he took it from Gary, and then he would give it to Bobby and then take it back, and then Kingman would come out, he would give him the belt, he would take it back, give it back to Bobby. So it was like, who's holding what? Like, who is like?
Yeah, so I don't know. I think one of the storylines at this point in time was there's cracks forming in the Cardinal Sinners. And I wish I would have asked this to New Scott, because I know he has the answer. And I've seen shoot interviews, and I can't remember exactly. I can't pinpoint a point in time that this actually happened. But No Class Bobby Bass actually breaks away from Real Action Wrestling and forms Atlantic Coast, and brings Kingman with him. And by late 2002, I believe, Bobby Roode goes to Atlantic Coast as well. And there's a bit of a
rivalry
between these two. You know, there's also, I believe, Grand Prix Wrestling in 2001 ran for a few weeks, but nothing much. Mainstream wrestling was in its infant days, where there were basically, you know, guys that, you know, you probably don't recognize the names. So Real Action Wrestling was the main one, but then you have Atlantic Coast that, you know, pops up. So I know Kingman, he left not long after this to join Atlantic Coast. And to me, there's the original era that nobody knows about, the pre-Grand Prix era of the 50s to all the way up to the early 1900s. Then there's Grand Prix in the 60s, 70s, 80s, early 90s. The 90s are an oddball time to be a Maritime wrestling fan because there's a little bit of it at the beginning, none of it in the middle, and then this just wrestling so popular in the late 90s and early 2000s that it comes in like Halley's Comet, but it burns out really fast. And I don't know if they did it on purpose, if it was accidental, but what they do is basically they start forming the new generation of Maritime wrestling through the class that Emile Dupree basically trained in Wildman Gary Williams, Peter Smith, Kingman, and Brody Steele, Cowboy Mike Hughes. Like, they became the names in the Maritimes. Like, I'm sure there's a Maritime wrestling scene, but Maritime wrestling as we see it right now is not possible without the contributions of Cowboy Mike Hughes, Brody Steele, and Wildman Gary Williams. So for anybody that's wondering the history of Maritime wrestling, New Scott's got a vast library of all these guys, all these matches. Atlantic Coast, he's got a number of shows. Real Action, he's got a number of shows. A lot of them are handheld. They're very watchable. Even mainstream wrestling's got a bunch of that. That's X-Ray Calicrew's first promotion. But I highly recommend checking out New Scott's library because it is Maritime wrestling right there.
Yeah, it's the backbone of what's happening now.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. The fire needs to start somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, Mark, final thought on your first time watching Real Action Wrestling.
Loved it. And I loved the crowd that was there. Like, they seemed like they were the type of people that were at every show. They knew like what to expect of it, and they loved it. It's like we discussed earlier. Like, honestly, at 8 years old, actually, fun fact, I would have turned 8 years old on that date.
That's correct. You're born on September 16th,
2001.
Look at that.
Yeah. So, like, being in my prime of wrestling and still believing what was going on, imagine if I was there.
Yeah.
Christ almighty.
So, fun fact,
might have been there.
You turned 8 on that day. About 2 months later, I turned 27.
You're like the Young Bucks.
I had turned that year. It was, 13 maybe?
I'd have been 18 that year. 17,
yeah.
Mark's not that. I'm not that much older than Mark, I guess.
No, nah. I think I just missed you in high school by like 1 year.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I want to get Corey's input here because out of all of us, he's the only one that actually seen Real Action Wrestling live. So, your thoughts on this?
I love this match, man. The first time I would have seen it would have been on a New Scott DVD, just to date myself a little bit. Probably still got the DVD downstairs somewhere. If I ever find it, I'm just going to give it to Corey. He'll appreciate it a lot more than I will, and it's all on YouTube now. So, I've probably got it on a New Scott DVD downstairs. When the first time I saw this match, Real Action was amazing. They used to come to the Kokang Arena, and it was great. You'd basically see what would have been on TV, but a couple days earlier. Frequently, you'd see the same matches or similar matches because they'd be gearing up for that TV taping. It was good shit, man. It was good wrestling. They'd be in Kokang frequently, not weekly, but every few weeks.
Cool.
Jason, your thoughts on this? Because I know you didn't see a lot of Real Action Wrestling, but I think that you've gone back and watched a few things from New Scott.
I have been going back and going through the library and picking and choosing matches here and there. I didn't get a chance to watch this full match. I started it, but I had a couple other projects on the go today. It's fun to watch. Gary Williams is probably one of the biggest backbones, as we said earlier, of Maritime Wrestling. He's a staple. He should have been where Bobby Roode went. yeah, it was a fantastic match, and I'm definitely going to check out more Real Action Wrestling. I'm definitely going to dive in further into New Scott's library and really get a grasp of that era. I stopped watching Maritime Wrestling around that, well, not that time, but in that period I wasn't watching Maritime Wrestling. I used to do the earlier stuff, the original Grand Prix stuff when I was younger. When I was 27 years old, I was full blown into my career at that time. None of my friends or nobody that I was hanging out with was into wrestling, so I kind of let it fall by the wayside. Only got back into it later on in the 2000s. So yeah, I'm gonna dive in and go down the rabbit hole, as they say.
Yeah, I've always said I'm a weird guy, as anybody that listens to this show knows. I'm the weirdest guy you'll ever meet.
No,
but no, right? I always
watches
think
Russian sandbox wrestling.
I said, so funny story here. I watched this, and Mark's not wrong there. I watched this Russian deathmatch promotion called Blood and Sand, where they wrestle in a sandbox, and the ropes are barbed wire, and it's horrible. Like they maim each other. They maim each other in front of like 7
what a great
fans.
commercial.
It's horrible.
And
I love it.
I do. I can't help it. I love deathmatch wrestling, but I can't say that I respect it a whole lot. Like there's controlled hardcore, and then there's just you're not trained. You're just cutting yourselves with shit and all that. And if you want to do that for my enjoyment, I'll gladly watch. But I can't say that I respect it or think much of it. But goddamn, if I don't watch it, and I send that to Jason, and I think I sent it to the whole group. And
I didn't click it. I did not click it.
I've seen some of
You
those.
thought
right?
it was some type of
I don't click it. You'll send me it, and I just don't click it. I'm like, I'm good. I draw the line at slap fighting.
So yeah, that's I can't tell you what the name of it's Russian. I don't speak Russian. All I know is the name of the show is Blood and Sand.
He's a weird guy, as we were saying.
Very much so.
But what I was trying to say is I always try to think of what the Mount Rushmore is for maritime wrestling promotions. And to me, two that are guaranteed is the original Grand Prix Wrestling and Real Action Wrestling. I think without Real Action Wrestling, holding the fort really for maritime wrestling in the early 2000s, like we probably, like Renee goes to the WWE or WWF at the time, we're back to nothing, maybe mainstream wrestling catches on a little bit, but I think Real Action Wrestling was really our hope for the future, and it really was. Mark, you got something here about an upcoming match?
Correct. Just kind of wanted to highlight a little bit of the current maritime talent. I believe it is in Alberta, where we had, so these two, the four of them have all performed in the Maritimes, where actually, so Chantal and Giant Orion have both been going across Canada, really, for matches, doing shows and all that. And so soon enough, on May 10th, they will actually be taking on, I believe, it's the Lion
Warrior Bobby Sharp.
Lion Warrior Bobby Sharp, along with his wife.
His wife, yeah.
Kat Von Hees.
Yep.
And so they'll be going head to head, actually, in mixed gender
tag
match. Yeah, tag match. So, to keep it going. And is it in Saskatoon? Okay,
Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, I think. Yeah,
where the Blades
unless
play.
They're doing it.
The Blades.
Saskatoon Blades. All right. With that being said,
I've got a story.
He's got a story.
Got a story. Story time with Corey, the Brian Robbins Show. Da-da-da-da-da.
So I'm at IHW on Friday.
Popped out that.
I'm on IHW on Friday.
What?
I'm at IHW on Friday. I'm sitting there. Before the show, this maritime wrestler who has bubble gun.
Oh, yes.
He's Sebi. He's in front of me. He's actually taking video of the show. And it looked like he did a phenomenal job. Kind of stretches out, and I'm like, what the fuck is Sebi doing? I feel something touch my foot. Sebi unties my shoe. He causes ruckus.
Oh, yes, he's the bringer of ruckus.
So, anyway, next match, again, he's in front of me. I've now gone to the washroom, so I retied my shoe as not to fall because I am fat and it would be bad. So I tie my shoe, go to the bathroom, come back, he unties my shoe again. I'm like, Sebi, you're supposed to be fucking with Mark the Mark, not me. What's going on here? This is not what we signed up for. So I triple knotted my shoe. And Sebi reaches over and tries to untie it, and I go, I triple knotted it, bitch. And he goes, He nods at me. This war is not over, Sebi. This war is just beginning. But your war should be directed at Mark the Mark with your bubble gun. Please and thank you.
So, whoa. Let me get this straight. So, in the Unofficial Maritime Wrestling Podcast Mania, we are going to have Mark the Mark versus Logan Green.
Yeah.
And Corey Big Brain Robbie Show versus the bringer of Ruckus, Sebi.
I can't take Sebi. He'll beat my ass. It wouldn't be good. He'd blind me with the soap from his bubble gun.
I mean, you got glasses. It'll just go on your glasses. You'll be fine.
Might just clean them.
We can't have that. You guys are supposed to be my
wear
friends.
Goggles, big goggles.
You guys are supposed to be my friends.
Ski goggles.
We are.
Ski goggles.
We enjoy seeing your shoes untied.
You're supposed to be my friends.
We are.
Alex Silva's in Germany starting today, so he'll be there for the next little while.
Gotta love Alex. It's Germany. It's the German wrestling.
It's not in Germany. That's just
this guy can't fucking type shit. Type shit. All right, everybody, thanks for being here. This is a great episode. This is my show. Corey, you do the outro.
Well, that was a pretty good intro. We should have kept it at that. But that being said, thank you all for listening. Thanks for listening. We love you
for the intro.
Thank you to Caden for your intro.
North Pro this weekend, Logan Mania
this weekend.
We'll all be there. We'll all be at North Pro except Corey.
Yeah,
although we hope he gets there. We still hope he gets there.
There's a possibility.
It'll depend on work.
It depends on work.
Appreciate you guys. Even if Corey doesn't and he goes to work, he shouldn't. He's got priorities.
What were you saying, Mark?
Mark's not used to work because he's.
What's that, Mark?
He works for the government.
He works for the government.
Mark, I can't hear you. I don't get it. What's going on?
You have priorities.
Okay, with that being said, I have priorities. That being said, thank you all for listening.
Thank you for listening.
This was episode 10. We got 10 episodes down by
10 episodes, double digits, man. Double digits.
So thank you all for listening, and we will see you next time.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and remember to catch us here every Wednesday for a new episode. Please visit us on Facebook, Instagram, and more. Links are in the description. See you next time.
Don't miss out and don't be late. Hear wrestling talk that's first rate. Wednesday nights at 6 o'clock.